Today we had a light day in the market. It wasn't anything major, nothing earth-shattering going on, good or bad. The market as a whole, let's see, the Dow went down 0.77, Nasdaq went down 1.25, S&P went down 0.65, and we went up 0.11, and then some aftermarket stuff going on. So call it 1.5, whatever you want to call it. Overall, it's pretty flat. I mean, most of the stuff we have here went up by a little bit, but there was one trend that I noticed, and stuff that we talk about all the time. We're going to talk about a couple different market segments. So typically right now, when the market goes up or down, it goes up or down. But when the two segments that are kind of battling it out as far as like where the money is, are tech stocks and travel and leisure stocks. And what's interesting is, and most people don't realize this, is that the tech stocks, usually those are going to be the people who are like older investors, people that have been in the market forever. They just traded forever, and that's kind of where the stocks are. Where their stocks are. They're going to be in Apple and Google and Amazon and things like that, and Tesla even. But the millennial investors, that's a lot of who are doing the things that we're talking about today, they can be in those, and it's great those stock prices are really high, but there's not a whole lot of upside, and it's not really the reason we got into doing this earlier this year. But in a lot of undervalued stocks. And when you have a pandemic, the sector of the economy that gets hit the most are travel and leisure and oil. Sorry, I have this new headphone. I swear it looks like there's like a hair dangling off my lip. So if I look like I'm crazy, well, that's what it is. And I just realized that's what that was. So anyway, that if we look at the segment today, you look at oil, for example, and oil's going to go up. Kind of a lagging indicator. I'm not going to get into it too much, but by the way people buy oil, they buy it 3 to 4 months in advance. So when you see oil stocks going up, whether it's drilling or it's exploration, drilling, refinement, or transportation, that's really a good sign, and depends on where you're at. So exploration is good because they're investing in it because they're anticipating the price of oil is going up. Refinement is good because it's a little bit later, and then obviously I think transportation is great because it's going out to the end user. So that's a good sign because those people are actually asking for oil. There are gas stations that are asking for oil because the amount of gas they're selling is, the amount of gas they're selling goes up. I swear this looks like a hair in front of me. So sorry about that. So as we look today, it's, whenever the stock market goes up or down, generally lately it's a battle of where the money is at. The money is definitely going to be in the market, but the question is, are people going to the shiny little object that is the tech sector, which no doubt it's doing really well, but you can't really jump in when the market's already that high because there's not a whole lot of room to go up. And on the other side, I think this is where we're going to see something move for us in the near future. I think tomorrow you have all the CEOs from the biggest tech companies, so Facebook, Google, Twitter, and then guess what? Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos is showing up to a congressional hearing or a Senate hearing. I'm not sure which one. That is going to be worth it because this guy never shows up. And I just want to see Dr. Evil on camera live because nobody ever sees him talk. I mean, maybe he doesn't even talk. Maybe he has maybe he's deaf. Maybe he has an interpreter or sign language going on. Who knows? But it'll definitely be very interesting. And if you don't think I'm going to be sitting here going like this while he's speaking, you're nuts because I totally am. So anyway, travel and leisure stocks were really the only sector that consistently went up today. So we'll come back to VEL in a second, but Braemar Resorts is a casino operator. They went up 7% today. VVI, they do natural and cultural destination experiences. So I imagine they do stuff like Grand Canyon tours and things like that. But they went up 5% today. Caesars Entertainment went up, call it 2% up today. Century Casinos went up 6% today. Norwegian went up 6% today. Service Properties Trust, and they do destination hotels. They went up 8% today. So that's definitely showing that the money is moving from the tech sector to travel and leisure. Additionally, this one just drives me nuts. Houghton Mifflin, or Houghton Mifflin, as my wife corrected me in saying. This one is a big school book. They are a dominant player in the school book industry. So they went up today. They went up, in the last month they went up 40%, but they went up 20% today. And I'd sold it when it was about 110 just because I wanted to free up some money. And then, of course, it jumps up as soon as I sell it. So this one is my evil nemesis. Just it doesn't matter what I do. As soon as I sell, it's going to go up. So I should almost like do a fake sale. Maybe I should short the stock. And, well, no, then it's going to go up. Then I'm going to be screwed. So I can't really do that. But this one's an interesting one. But the last time this happened, if you think it's like, oh, this is great. I missed out on something. Last time it happened, it went up a crazy amount, and then it retreated all the way back down. So maybe as we see this jump from 212 to 268, again, not a big jump, but percentage-wise, a good jump. If we see it go down to 2, maybe I'll buy it again. So we'll see. This is my little evil nemesis, though. And then Velocity Financial, they do mortgages. We did a limit sell on them today. Basically, I just wanted to free up some money, and I figure this is going to be a trailing indicator. Part of it, too, is that I was looking to refinance my mortgage, and apparently they have some stricter requirements if you have a mortgage deferral. So, like, we deferred our mortgage 3 months at the beginning of all this, but you have to make 3 straight payments if you have a deferral. Obviously, we're not at the point where we even got to that point yet. But apparently it's a little stricter on that. So there's people that would want to refinance like me, but can't yet. So I decided to put a sell order on this for right now, and then we'll come back and buy it. In fact, we'll talk about what we're going to do with that as well. We ended up selling at 376, and it gained basically 3% to get up to 376. I sold it, and it stayed there. So great sell at that point. Sold it at the top of the day, and I'll show you what we did later on. All right, so with that being said, take a look at our upside chart, and we decided we'll talk about Velocity in a little bit. So Velocity will basically own the top ones we have here. Dave & Buster's is at 70% buy, but it's going to be a longer term play just because it's a big, they always say for coronavirus, you're most likely going to get it if you're in an indoor place with central ventilation for an extended period of time. Well, that is Dave & Buster's. So it's going to take a little bit of time for this to fully jump back up. And maybe it will be once things open up a little bit more. But for right now, we're holding off on that. But Velocity, I thought, okay, since this went down and the upside is basically at 4, and it's a good company. I mean, they basically fund loans for Mr. Cooper, which I used to have. I thought, okay, if it gets down to 360, maybe it will, maybe it won't. We'll go ahead and buy it, basically as an upside over 4 at that point. So, but besides that, I think we're really good for right now. There's nothing really that we want to jump in and do things one way or the other. If I did do a sell, let's close down the non-active holdings. Hide those. If we did do a sell, there's not really anything that I would want to sell. A bunch of stuff at 50%. I don't want to take the gain on that. Like Haggy, I just bought, and they just, so I don't want to sell that. And that's a 79% buy, and it's a good European airline conglomerate, so we don't want to touch that. Things with triple digits, we're not going to touch. Up at 80, we're not going to touch that. Maybe 2 Harbors I might sell, but it's a 78% buy, so I don't really want to do that. And Yuko, I have a huge stake, so I'm just not selling that. That's just a fact of the matter. So I think what the next move is going to be, unless something changes unforeseen, is, well, let's see, if we had to sell anything, maybe it would be Red Robin Group. I don't know. Either that or PBF. We just bought that. And that's an oil stock. So, yeah, I'd say between one of these two, I would probably consider doing a sell order just to reinvest some of the money. But there's no reason to jump on it yet. So today, not only did we do the limit order for Velocity, but we also executed the sale for Velocity at 376. We want to rebuy it at 360. And we did a sell for Service Corporation at 660. So we're doing pretty good for that. All right, so let's clear that out. All right, so right now, overall, we have a 59% gain of that. And this is basically off of our initial deposits. And this is at a stagnation part. So I can't wait to see for this to jump up. We could be over 100% easily pretty soon on this. And we're still up 26% or about $14,000 on our active investments. So, and that's at a stagnation part. So there's no reason to move. The market's not telling us to move. There's nothing big going on here. The really only threat that might move something, and it usually will take about a month, is that in certain states the not foreclosure, but the eviction moratorium is expiring in certain states. I think in San Diego it's like September, so it's not going to happen here. But depending on the locality, it might be expiring at the end of this week. But it doesn't mean things are going to move at the end of this week, because really it takes a little bit of time for those to flow through. So it's maybe a month or two, but something to look on the horizon. Doesn't mean we're going to take any action, but it is something that we might want to look at as far as some of our REITs, if we have those out there. But then again, we do have a federal government that's willing to throw money hand over fist at REITs to support that market. So again, we have a little bit of a backstop, and that's part of the reason that we're doing this, is we want to go after stocks where you have a government that is not going to let them fail. It's like a guy who goes to the high stakes casino, to the poker table, loses all his money, and then the casino basically says, just kidding, here's your money back, and it goes over and over and over. Well, this guy isn't going to lower his bets if he knows the casino is just going to keep making him whole. He's going to keep betting, and he's going to bet even higher. So that's kind of what we're counting on this. Alrighty, so we covered the stocks that we're going to talk about today. Tomorrow we don't see a whole lot of movement going on. Look at the CNN site, which I don't like CNN much anymore, but this page is nice because it gives us a quick summary. Stocks that are impacted by Corona today. We have Oki, which is we own, or we don't own, but it's on our watch list. That went down 4% today, and that's the only one that showed up there. And then this one I'm really considering buying, or at least looking at, is DraftKings. So, in fact, let's take a look at that one right now. So DraftKings, we had one where, let's see, is it DraftKings or FanDuel? Which one is it? Oh, it's not FanDuel. I think they bought each other. All right, DraftKings. So you had 20 people on the Marlins, whether the coaches and players, whatever, that got diagnosed with the Corona. And so, people are looking at this and saying, okay, this is dropping because if they cancel the season, there's going to be a revenue drop for them. So if we look at DraftKings, let's take a look. I've never looked at them before, so you're getting a raw look at this right now. So this one benefited from coronavirus. I'm not sure why this decided to jump up. I think this was like March Madness, and then they were hopeful for baseball and football, and everything was going up. And then you saw they changed the metrics from deaths and ICU beds to case counts, and you saw that go down. So, but if we see it at its high in June, and again, this was basically sitting at $10. It was a dead even stock. It did not move very much. It went to $43. So basically, if we had bought this back in, not that I was even looking to invest, but if we had bought this around the end of the year, we'd quadruple what our earnings are. So if it got up to $43.70, let's call it $43 right there. And we got it down to 34. Let's see, does this have any 83% buy? Jeez. Might throw some money at this. That's something to look at. All right, so let's at least add this to our watch list. What is this? Donkey Kong, DKNG. DKNG. All right. And not that it really matters a whole lot, but let's just take a look at February 20th, because we do those with biotech stocks. 1765. And the stock price now is what, 34.65. All right, so this one basically is us betting on football happening, basically. So if we did this, let's take a look and see. Got down to 33, it's at 34. Got up to 38. So let's do this. Doesn't mean we have to buy it, but let's do a limit order. Call it 34. All right, for 40 shares. And I had meant to buy these. I meant to look at this the other day and I never got around to it. So let's call 34, 40. Okay, current price. All right. And we'll carry this down. This one is C22, D22. All right. So we'll get this buy in, and we'll see. If it hits 34, then fine, we'll buy it. But I have a feeling this is a good one because seeing as how baseball just started and football's coming up and college football, you're going to have a lot of people worried. But it's an 83% buy. Look at this. 120,000 people are investing in this. So that's definitely a good sign. There's going to be a lot of volume in that. And then for the month, it went up 7%. And for the day, it went down a little bit. So it's flat. So we're going to take advantage of that drop today. And maybe we buy it. Maybe we don't. We'll see what happens. But with that being said, tomorrow, pretty flat. And then Dow futures, yeah, it's still negative. We'll see what happens. We'll take a look later. But got some good stuff. We're moving the portfolio where we want to. And so with that being said, there's some good stuff on the horizon. Let's just wait. We're shaking out all the suckers, clearing out all the suckers, and getting our portfolio set up so when the market turns, we are in a great position to rake in the dough. So with that being said, I will see you tomorrow.
To get more information on the sales cheat code, go ahead and click on the subscribe button below. Also, down below in the video description, down there, there's a link that takes you to our website that gives you additional content, some additional freebies that we have, and gives you information on some programs that we have that have been proven to help people to make sales easy so that you can make the kind of money you want, live the lifestyle that you've always wanted, and not have to struggle in the process. And what might be the coolest thing of all is you don't have to put much effort into it. It truly is a cheat code that most people don't know about. And it's a cheat code that can change your life today. So click on the link below and let me help you start to experience these results starting right now.